because like looking through Brooke's list and you talk
I was
about
not cool enough to listen to any of that stuff. Like I could not sing you a good Charlotte song to save my life, and people would be so surprised by that.
Oh.
Dude,
Well, it's so funny because you probably hung out with all of us, and I feel like we listened to a lot of that stuff, Brooke, and like I feel like
most of my music I got from my sister.
Okay.
So like she was like, you're not going to listen to My Chemical Romance, you're going to listen to Bright Eyes instead. And I'm like, okay. So I had her and then like musicals, but because she didn't, my sister's a music bitch. So I'm kind of a music bitch. And so when she says I can't listen to it because it's bad, then I'm like, well, I can't listen to it because it's bad. So I'm ashamed to say that my sister says those bands are bad. Oh. So I haven't really given them a chance, but I will because I want to.
Yeah.
I always wanted to.
I don't think I ever had like an off limit genre. Like I always hear people talk about ones that they love or they hate, you know, and like I think I grew up around so many different people being obsessed with so many different versions that like even if it wasn't my initial go-to, I would get exposed to it and then I'd start getting used to it, and the next thing you know I would get like a soft spot for that one, and then that would like one band, and then that one band would introduce me to other bands. The next thing you know I'm listening to like, you know, a whole group of it, and it's really hard for me to find something that I don't like. And like the only one I will say, like, if I'm scanning the radio, like the actual radio, and I see like I tend to skip the Christian stations just because.
Yeah, I mean,
like a little nuts.
Yeah.
I do feel a little judgy
also,
on
it's not like it used to be.
Do you guys remember that Christian music infomercial that always came on at like midnight when you're like waiting for like the Girls Gone Wild commercial, but it will always come on, right? And the song that I remember the most was like, our God is an awesome God. He is.
Yes, I totally remember that.
Dude.
He's an awesome God. Yep. I knew the sign language, all of it.
I was in Catholic school and I like used to like get little kids to sing it with me. I was like the leadership team.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
So
I'm like playing it in my head. I'm like, oh God, yeah.
I was just gonna say that song was actually pretty big. Other than that, I remember those commercials, but that song was like already like I feel like I already knew. Again, I grew up Catholic too, so just like yeah, you heard those things like
So apparently on Netflix, there's about to be a Christian version of Camp Rock.
Really?
Oh God.
Yeah. So like I was watching.
I saw a commercial for that, and I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
So I was watching like random trailers, right? And then I was like, oh, it's a musical. Okay, I'll check it out. So they started singing, and then they started singing like their remix of "Our God Is Awesome God." And I was like, oh shit, this is a Christian camp musical rock thing. I was like, I felt like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's like, I know that song, you know, or he's just pointing at something.
That's funny. I did not know about this. That's funny.
It is Netflix is coming out with a lot of stuff. And apparently there's also a Christian Netflix, which is something I did not know of until I found that Christian Schitt's Creek parody thing that I sent you guys on the chat.
Wait, what?
So apparently there's gonna be there is a Christian version-esque of Schitt's Creek.
Explain to me what that means. Like, I don't understand.
I don't even know. I agree. Like, is it a spoof?
Yeah, like.
No. So the premise is
You guys seem so offended.
I'm just confused.
I am.
So let's establish some roots. Apparently, there's a Christian version of Netflix out, a Christian streaming service, right? And there's a show where a dad who is a race car driver has to relocate to a small town, and he goes through a cast of characters who are all white, apparently, and he has to find his way back to success again.
It just sounds like Hallmark movies. Every Hallmark movie ever.
Yeah.
I don't watch Schitt's Creek, so I wouldn't know.
Schitt's Creek is a great show.
Is great, but this sounds like
Schitt's Creek is a blessing.
This I don't understand.
So I love Schitt's Creek.
So Schitt's Creek was it created by Eugene Levy?
And his son.
Yeah,
Dan.
I think
okay.
Dan Levy is from the writers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess
I knew the
Dan.
connection from American Pie.
Yeah, because like Eugene Levy was in American Pie, and I swear to God,
I know Eugene Levy from all of the Christopher Guest movies, like when he's like in them with Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, he's in a ton of stuff, and both his kids are in it.
Yeah.
His son and his daughter are in Schitt's Creek. Yeah,
His daughter's Twyla.
Yeah,
his daughter's Twyla.
Yeah, his real name is Twyla, and it's funny because
they're all Canadian.
They're so good,
all of them.
I should have.
I like literally have a flannel that Stevie has in Schitt's Creek. Like I was watching it and I was like, that is hanging in my closet as we speak.
I get so jazzed when I see stuff like that.
Yeah. It's like that's for sure mine.
Dude, my favorite character ended up being not the veterinarian. Like I forgot his name.
Ted.
Ted quickly became my favorite character. I don't know. I didn't think he was gonna be my favorite character, but he's just super like weird and quirky. I was like, you're my homie, man. But yeah, like Eugene Levy's in it, and like, dude, like he was so good in all the American Pies. And if I didn't mention this now, like the American Pie soundtrack was pretty much most of my high school life. It was like at least 70% of it, because it had all like the pop punk stuff, like the Blink-182, the Sum 41s, All American Rejects. Like sometimes I go on Spotify.
American Rejects.
Yeah.
All American Rejects.
Yeah, and like it dude, like I remember like just watching those movies, and I was like, yeah, dude, I love all these punk pop songs. They're gonna be the best songs like forever. Like I'm never gonna listen to anything else, which was a lie.
I know. Yeah, I think that's so funny when you're young and you're listening to something and you're like, this is going to last forever. This is forever. This is my forever. This right now. And then, 15 years later, you listen to it again and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually stand
Maybe
by
not.
those. Like,
I still listen
I'm
to music
not
from
proud
back
of them,
then.
but I still love them.
Yeah.
Same. It's like the soundtrack to my life.
Right, exactly.
There are some
I have memories
that I will
attached to
stand
that.
by. Yeah, there are some that I will stand by until, like, I'm sorry, 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton is a goddamn beautiful masterpiece, okay?
Fire.
But
It's fire,
It's
yes.
fire.
huh?
It's fire.
Quality
It's
music.
fire.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
As the kids
But
say.
I'm going to be okay saying, all right, Wicked, the musical, not as great as I originally thought.
Oh yeah, I go back and forth on music.
know?
There's certain things that for sure, but like I feel like for the pop punk thing, when I was in junior high, I remember feeling so found when I like found some of this music. Like just like hearing it for the first time was just like, this is my freaking jam. Like and it was just like 12-year-old me was like, oh my gosh, like these are my people. Like,
Oh, dude, I just got a flashback. I remember like hanging out at a freshman party, and I think I was a senior at a freshman party, hanging out with like all
Wait,
the
what?
and
That's
like
so random.
and like or maybe it was a sophomore party. I take that back, because one of our mutual friends, I was hanging out with him and his sister and their party group, because we all kind of like, high school was a different time. Anyways, hang out with a bunch of sophomores, right? And then like this girl was like, "Do you listen to Metro Station?" And it's like, what's Metro Station? And it was like the song "Shake It" or "Shake Me."
I don't know.
that's so random.
And I was like, listen, it was like fake, like that song actually kind of caught on, and like it was pretty catchy. But like, I just
Which
remember-
song?
It's called "Shake It" or "Shake by Metro Station.
Yeah, I feel
I'm
like I
gonna
know
look
which
this
one
up
you're talking
right now.
about.
Oh, no idea.
I feel like if you heard it, you'd recognize it, Brooke. Like it wouldn't be something we'd listen to like regularly, but you.
People say that a lot. I was really in a bubble, guys. I was really in a bubble.
You go.
It was
that
like
I got.
on commercials and stuff. I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, and like commercial. You just fucking said commercials. I meant like trailers, like previews or whatever.
Yeah.
It's in like commercials. Yeah, like commercials.
See, okay,
Jesus.
so you guys, like, I don't know for you, but like there were certain ones, like I wasn't a huge movie soundtrack person, but like when it was a movie I loved, like certain soundtracks just stuck with me. And I remember like especially my high school years, like when Garden State came out.
Oh,
I was obsessed with that
Goose
movie.
Wang.
Yep.
And then that whole, like, I had the CD and I would just like play it on repeat and was just like obsessed. And it was such a good, like, I still to this day stand by that album. Like, it's so good.
No, that one's it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. Almost Famous was the movie soundtrack that
that's a good one.
My dad was like, oh, because it had all of the good stuff.
Yeah, no, it's classic.
So I feel like I kind of cheated with movie soundtracks, hearing like really great, awesome songs, but not learning an entire band's repertoire.
But I feel like that was a good introduction to stuff, you know what I mean? Because it like, especially for like with when Almost Famous came out, you know, because it was like it took place in a different time
in the 70s.
I feel like they did a really good job at introducing like older like music to a younger like audience, you know, because not everyone
I love that fucking movie
like that. Like I heard a lot of that stuff because like both I hung out with, you know, my parents and my grandparents a lot, and so I heard like a different like generations from them. But not everyone, you know, spent as much time, and not everyone had like hippie parents that were down to like share. And, like,
Oh my God. Yeah. My dad was very, I know. And it's another reason why I feel like I'm such a bitch when it comes to talking about music, because my dad is a musician.
Totally.
And
really?
I don't know.
I'm just play?
Sings and he does guitar, major hardcore guitar.
Yeah, he's like good too.
That's so cool.
Like Bon Jovi style or like?
No.
Like classical or modern?
Like blues, rock and blues.
Okay.
Not R&B.